All right, Shalom. Start first by giving all praises and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us this truth, who I truly believe Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai is dealing with. Um, Greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the house of David, the elect that'll be chosen for salvation. Shalom. Um, yeah, I had a quick video. I wanted to be quick. It's actually a couple different levels, and I guess basically to start off, it's about water, man. How important water is in our life. A lot of people complaining already about the fact that we're going through hard times and certain things that's happening in the world. But you guys are complaining, man, and the water's still on. You know, people bug out when water gets cut off, man. The water will be shut off, man. You know, this has to happen. The people are gonna bug out when water is shut off because water is a major part of life. Which, when you go into it, well, I'll get to that part later, right? So let me start here with how important water is because we also don't drink the right types of water. You know, neutral, and I'm gonna get into that also. I'm gonna kind of preview it now, but neutral to alkaline is the type of water that you wanna use. You know, that you wanna drink. You know, and let me see if I can go back to it. Yeah, right here, man. Water. I'm gonna get into that. You know, I think that was a good one right there about the different types of water. High alkaline, ionized water, 10%, 10.0, on the pH scale. Most tap water is about neutral, 7%. That's the good tap water. Now you can't trust that nowadays. You gotta buy water. But a lot of the water that you drink is in that red to orange acidic pH. You know, a lot of it's 6, 5, some of it's 4. Like it says right there, reverse osmosis, RO, reverse osmosis water, acidic. Distilled and purified water, acidic. Most bottled water in sports drinks, acidic. From my research, studies I had done, pretty much the only bottled water that doesn't claim to be have a higher pH or is alkaline or anything like that is Arrowhead. I believe it's neutral, but all the rest are um, pretty much uh, uh, acidic. But then you get into the whole market now that they have, which is a beautiful thing, of alkaline water. You can get different types of alkaline. Real water, Essentia is a really good one. They have a bunch of them. They're all over the place. But you want to try to find out what that alkaline pH is. The higher, usually, the better, because I know most of us uh, in the world today, we live in this, and we don't really live a perfectly balanced body. As far as nutrition for our body, we don't really have that. We don't really live that lifestyle. Some of us do. Some brothers do, or do the very best. We all try to do the best we can, but a lot of us are down in this area here at the bottom, man. The acidic level. Getting into neutral's nice, but getting it to run alkaline, that's gonna start cutting out all your ailments and sicknesses and bacteria buildup and all these chronic diseases that we die from, type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, hypertension, gout. All these things come from, if you read the list closely, the things that come on the acidic side, because your body begins to heal itself. Well, what does that? They have a lot of things on this list. Are probably pretty small for y'all to check out, but this is basically it. I'll read a few of these. Acidic, carbonated water, club soda, energy drinks. Acidic, it's a down to a 3. Rarely. I mean, soda's got carbonated water. You know. Anyway, it says popcorn, cream cheese, buttermilk, prunes, pastries, pastas, cheese, pork, of course, which you shouldn't be eating pork anyway if you're an Israelite. Beer, wine, black tea, pickles, chocolate, roasted nuts, vinegar, sweet and low equal NutraSweet. Look, these are things people use in everyday life because you read the scriptures and you be like, well, how can I translate that over into everyday life? Well, just like this, it's giving you the basics of what this is. These are the things you live off of: equal NutraSweet, pickles, chocolate, cheese. You haven't been humbled yourself as a newborn babe because this Bible has everything, and the men at Great Millstone have taught us things on every level. We've been taught on every level what we should and shouldn't be eating in this truth. I mean, just to live a healthy lifestyle, every man got to be persuaded in his own mind. But at the same time, it will behoove you to want to try to eat healthier, to take care of this temple that the Most High lent to you. That's why we don't smoke. That's why we try to exercise if we can. That's why we try to reverse the injuries and illnesses that our body, these chains of darkness, better said, really possess, man, and keep us in these chains, man, in the slavery of this body, because when we get to the kingdom, man, our spirit is going to flourish. We're going to have bodies that can handle our righteous spirits, the righteous version of our spirits. We're trying and we're working toward that now, but in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have it. Most High is going to write it in us, and we're going to have it, and we're going to have bodies that reflect having a pure spiritual body of Yahweh Shem Yahshai is really about, and it will be an extraterrestrial body. But this right here is just something to keep these bodies sustained till we get those new ones. Because a lot of, I'm getting a little older, knees and back and different ailments. You eat something wrong and it's messed up. And I'm sure there's a lot of brothers out there doing the same thing. We have been trained to eat this microwave cereal, Saturday morning cartoons, Pop-Tart, all of these type of things, chips, all types of cheesy chips and all this other terrible things for our diet. But we haven't been raised to live a alkaline based healthy lifestyle, and so that's what we do here. We don't just renew ourselves only in the spirit. We also do it, completely, because what you do in the spirit, when you go spiritually and do these things for your body, guess what? It responds in that way also. And that goes, and I'm gonna try to read into that about the experiment that Daniel did. But you'll see how this lines up, because just having water, and I'm gonna go to another picture, but just having water throughout the land has gives the opportunity, for vegetation to grow. And when you looked on those maps, on the those charts of alkaline and acidic foods, a lot of the acidic foods, or better yet to say, a lot of the alkaline foods were the vegetation was vegetation. Here's one here. Let me find it. Let me see. Yeah, look, it says right here. Look, acidic alkaline pH scale says 20% acidic, 80% alkaline. Right? Acidic, eat less meat, fish, poultry, eggs, grains, and legumes. That's the American diet. That's the modern diet right now. If it's not GMO or something that all types of pesticides and chemtrails and been all through, and it says eat more fruits. You need vegetation. You need water to fertilize your soil, right? To moisturize it. So fruits, green vegetables, peas, beans, lentils, spices, and herbs. Those are wonderful things to add into your diet to keep your alkaline level up. But that comes from good water. And another type of water is alkaline water, That's something pretty good. Because you gotta think about that. So the water is kind of a shortcut to to getting your body alkalized. But the best way and the most balanced way is going through those leafy green fruits and vegetables, beans, and herbs and whatnot. Let me see. Yeah, they have a lot of things on here. But let me go into this map to show you how when the Most High set up our land and divided the world according to the land according to Israel, the number of Israel. He started off giving us that land of the Fertile Crescent. And I'm gonna show you the water patterns of the Euphrates, and then I'm gonna get into the scriptures in just a moment. Just kind of want to set the scale on where I was going with this, so brothers understand the importance of water and being in a healthy body as well. By eating the leafy greens and cutting back on those starchy proteins, heavy proteins. And there's a lot of brothers that's more into the health thing than I am, but I'm just something simple that brothers that's coming in can kind of do to get themselves on that level of it, like the apostle said this past Saturday about the Dr. Sabis. Every Israelite should be a Dr. Sabi, a version of Dr. Sabi. Well, he's right, because you need this to go out there and stand on the street. This week, my knees and back was killing me extra because I knew I had been eating some BS earlier in the week, So anyway, I'm gonna click on this one right here. This kind of shows it pretty good. This is where the Fertile Crescent is. You see the land of Israel is right there next to a body of water, the Mediterranean Sea. Lower Egypt with the Nile going down through Egypt down there, Upper Egypt, all of that. The Red Sea there, the Persian Gulf, Mesopotamia, Syria, Elam, those lands over there. But where the Euphrates and the Tigris and all that is, and the scriptures talk about the Euphrates and the Tigris. Now, let me hit this script before I hit anything else. I'm gonna go to the scriptures real quick, and before I go to Numbers 20, I'm gonna go to Genesis 2. I'm gonna start at the top and read down. It's like 10 or 11 or something like that. Maybe 15. Let me see. Yeah, 10. Genesis chapter 2, verse 10, it says, and the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. And that was the map that we were just showing, how the Euphrates had all it's like when you're in culinary school, or you know about food like that. You choose your kosher meats, of course, where they have the most marbling in the of fat throughout the lean meat. That helps the meat be flavored and juicy. Well, that's the same thing with the land. That's the same thing with the water in the land. The water gets in there and puts the nutrients and the moisture in there, where the nutrients can fertilize the soil. And then you can grow an abundance of vegetables that way. That's why that's the best land on the planet, because that's where all those bodies of water and rivers converge at. It's the most enriched by water. Well, our people are in such a messed up state. We need to be enriched by the water of this word, as well as enriched, leading down that path of being enriched literally with water to decalcify our pineal gland and get our bodies back in an alkaline level, so we can learn His word through the Spirit, man. So the Spirit can deal with us like that. All that ties into this word. Having your body right does tie in. It's not the most important thing. Having your spirit right is the most important thing. But by having your spirit right, it'll show you that you need to also have your body right. So you can go out there longer and stronger when you're teaching this word. So your concentration level will be better. This world is set up to confuse you with all of that and to mess you up. There's all types of distractions out here. You click on YouTube and you only subscribe to truth videos, but guess what'll pop up? All types of other worldly music videos, sports videos, random internet craze stuff that go viral. That stuff will still pop up in your feed, as clickbait, which you entertain yourself by watching it, whatever, but you do the best you can. Just like this land was set there because the Most High had the best intent for us to dwell in that land and have a balanced diet, and our bodies running at optimum level. Well, they're at the opposite end of optimum level right now. So let me go to where he put it at in Genesis. He put this river there, which that land is going to eventually become the land of Israel, where those bodies of water are at. Anyway, back at Genesis chapter 2, verse 10, it says, "And the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. And the name of the first is Pison, and it was which compasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold." See, there was even gold and all those other nutrients in the earth as well. Precious stones that held a vibration and did certain things. You know, gold and silver were used as cleansing agents. That's why you can have colloidal gold or colloidal silver in order to put your body back in alignment. You know, it says, and I don't mean your bones. I mean, like, you know, your level of illness versus sickness. I mean, sickness versus healthy. Alkaline and acidic. All those things tie into each other. It says, and the gold of the land is good. There is bdellium, and the onyx stone. It says, and the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasses the whole land of Ethiopia. And I believe that was shown. Well, it's further down on this map. It's further down on that map, but yeah. But you gotta imagine this also being Pangea at this time. You know, all the sutras were more enclosed because there wasn't bodies of water like that. But once the earth expanded, those major river heads became major bodies of water to help even more not saturate, but fertilize the land. And it says, and the name, this back in Genesis 2 and 14, it said, and the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria, and the fourth river is Euphrates. It said, and the Lord took man and put him in the garden to dress it and to keep it. Right. So that was and it says right here, that goes into the deeper wisdom, but you can see that land that he's talking about. Come on. Phone always want to act slow. But you can see that's that. See, here we go with this. You can see that's that area where those rivers are marbling the land right there, giving it good nutrients. You know? So you can really, you see where it's going up through Syria? Yep. Putting those in the major bodies of land. That's why if you look at a moisture map or fertilization map of the United States, it has the America's bread. What do they call it? Apostle just did a link to it, how Egypt had it, but also had how America has the Mississippi. You know, this the Nile River cuts through Egypt, well, Mississippi River cuts right through America. You know, that was something that video or that link went into. But the point is, that is how you can see the vegetation of that smaller chunk of the east coast of America even was more fertile because of the rivers that are over there and how the Great Lakes are over there, and it's not exactly in the middle half. It's like 30, like he said in the video, 70-30. The West Coast having 70% of the land mass of America, and the East Coast having about 30. And you know that meaning the bodies of water that surround America were fertilizing that part of the region. You know, and it's no different. Your body is the same way. You know, that's why Jake is lost, crying out for everything we can, because we need water. You know, for one, we need, like I said, the levels. If we need literal alkaline water to even open up our pineal glands, because we are destroyed as a people, eating like I said, GMO and all types of just fast food and microwave food, just messed up. And it does hurt you being able to receive things through the spirit by calcifying your pineal gland. So this is gonna come. That's why you got to know that this is a punishment that's gonna come to America. Also, it's not gonna have that type of water, just like it did, like they took the water out in the wilderness. But so you can see how the map does that. And I'm gonna go to this. I'm kind of all over the place, but bear with me. It should lead into a point. Here's a fertile crescent map. We're gonna go with this one. It shows the rivers really good, and how the vegetation and all that green is what it vegetates. Those rivers vegetate on down to Africa with the Nile River. So let's go back to the scriptures and then close out after we hit a few scripts on this. So that's it in Genesis. Now let's go to Numbers 20, because it's gonna paint the picture itself, but I'll just read it. Numbers chapter 20. I'm gonna start it at verse 2. It says, matter of fact, verse 1 said, "Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the desert of Zin in the first month, and the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there." So they did the whole thing for Miriam there. It says, "And there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people chode with Moses." That means, in my sword it says, see again, in my sword it says, wait 1 second, get back to it. Basically they were talking shit to him, but the word that my Bible used there is contended with Moses and Aaron, right? It says, "With Moses and spake, saying, Would the Most High that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord?" That we all gotta die, because you gotta know, Jake was already dying off. Wicked Jake in that wilderness, they're kind of wandering at this point. They're dying off, for different reasons. It says, and why have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? They're trying to figure out why Moses, why you got us coming out here if just to die? We came out here to die. We hungry, we thirsty. What's up? That's basically what they saying. It says, verse 5, it says, and wherefore ye have made us to come out of Egypt and bring us to this evil place. There is no place of seed or of figs or of vine or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. And here they about to bug out because of the water. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh appeared unto them. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye into the rock. It said, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth them water out of the rock, so thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink, because they're getting dehydrated. So Jake's starting to bug out. And that's just the way Jake act today, man. And they think, I drink a lot of water, but you're drinking acidic water that's not actually being properly used within the body. You should do some research on acidic water, man. And what the research that I've done about it, because I heard about this alkaline water machine, alkalizer or whatever it was kind of expensive, but I didn't realize back then when I had the opportunity to learn about it that it was gonna be so instrumental later in life. I was like, man, regular water works, but I didn't realize that bottled water has bigger water molecules. So those molecules have to pass through your body and break down first before they can be distributed throughout your body and actually hydrate your entire body. But alkaline water actually breaks that down. It actually breaks down those molecules and puts it to a point to where it can just pass through your body and be used at a faster digestive rate, right? Break down your body faster. That's why adding the acidic lemon and lime to your water, once it hits that water, it becomes alkaline and breaks down the water molecules, and then it can be taken into your body. This is just something good to know. Alkaline on a budget is citrus water, water with lemon, water with lime, basically those citruses. Anyway, it says back in it, verse 9, it says, Numbers 20:9, it says, and Moses took the rod from before the Lord Yahweh as he had commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation before the rock, and he said unto them, hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? It said, and Moses lifted up his hand, and with the rod he smote the rock twice. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. I don't know if you caught on to that, but Moses didn't do what he said. He told him to speak upon the rock, and it would bring forth water. But did they do that? No. Did he do that? He struck it with the he was carnal. He wasn't spiritual. He was carnal. He didn't prove to have the highest level of faith, in that moment. So he smote the rock. But you don't need an excuse for the Most High to show His majesty. Anyway, verse 13, it says, matter of fact, 12, it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Because after all those plagues and that he put upon Egypt, Israel still had doubt. But this water thing, giving them manna and then raining down quail upon them so they could eat, and then here come water till they can drink and the beasts can be fed. Guess what? He actually smote the rock, but it was the point was to show the power of Yahweh by saying it, and he would make it come forth. So they messed up there. It says, and this water, let me read 12 again. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I gave unto them, which I have given them, into the land of Israel, it says, which was known as the land of Canaan back then still. It says, this is the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with the Lord Yahweh, and he was sanctified in them. Yep. So let me go from there, and now I'm going to go to the experiment in Daniel. There we go. Yeah. Because when you have that water, to fertilize your land, and it attracts the nutrients and everything else with those waterways, you get that vegetation, then that's where the alkaline harvest comes from that enriched soil, Just like the apostles of Great Millstone, their tree is watered through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. That's why it's flourishing the way it is and growing on the level it is through the grace and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Because this is the truth. This is the right way. Let me get straight to the point. Excuse me. 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to start at verse 4. Yep. Daniel chapter 1, verse 4. Because I'm going to show you the map again real quick and show you the fertile crescent. It's fertile because it grows. It blooms. It blossoms. It takes seed and yields seed, It's like a woman being fertile. She yields seed. She brings life upon the earth, from the seed of the man. And then through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai, that puts that spirit into that body, Let's see here. Image of the fertile crescent. Yeah, this is it here. See? You see a real heavily vegetated area as kind of in an arc or a crescent, because it has those great bodies of water and mountains and altitude that come down and all of that, man. You know. So let me go back into I brought forth the vegetation, which, like we had earlier, let me get it again. It brings forth that alkaline base, the more alkaline in your diet, which then opens your pineal gland and has your body running at optimum level to take in the spiritual messages from your Habashim Yahshua, to decalcify our pineal gland, right? Right? If I like that one. So anyway, back at the script. Because this experiment, anybody that knows that the experiment is about basically these two different types of diets that the people are they're having, right? Which is kind of a meat-based diet by the soldiers. I think it was Babylonian soldiers, but we're about to read about it instead of more fruits and vegetables that Daniel and his men ate, right? Let's see. Yeah, start at verse 4. It says, Daniel 1:4 said, children in whom was no... Let me start up. 3. It says, and the king spake unto Alphanaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel and the king's seed and the princes to gather up all these people. Certain of the children of Israel, the king's seed, the princes, bring those in his house, bring those, those closest to him, those best men, bring them to gather around the king. He says, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge and understanding science, and as such had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. Yeah. That's big right there. Let's see what we got. I'm just in the spirit trying to do this video, just, building upon an idea I had that how our people need water in every sense of the way. Our bodies need alkaline, good water, and our spirits need water in as well. Come on, man, let's think on that simple all of a sudden. All right, Daniel, chapter 1. Working nicely now. Yeah. You see here. See this word Chaldeans right here, because I think it's going to reveal something. Yeah. Look, it says, Chaldeans, Chaldea, outlining biblical usage. It says, a territory in lower Mesopotamia bordering on the Persian Gulf. The inhabitants of Chaldea living on the lower Euphrates and Tigris. Those persons considered the wisest in the land. By extension, the wisest in the land. These things will make us the wisest in the land. That to speak among the Chaldees. Oh, this got turned around. Wow. See if we can keep it. Salakin. It says, but well favored and skillful in all. Let me start at the top of 4 again. Daniel 1:4 says, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, because they studied to show themselves approved. And they got the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It says, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans, teach as the wisest in the land. You know, that's what that is. The Chaldeans, the wisest in the land. That would have been your modern day Illuminati, but now that's the modern day men of the Lord, and as it was the ancient. In this time here in Daniel, all the way back to Adam, and specifically us in this time now. That's how we know the men of Great Millstone are those men that are in that are whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans, the mighty of the land. Let me see if I can go back and get the exact wording. That's how we know that those are those men, because they teach us in every level of this thing. As how to deal with this truth as a man upon the earth, how to deal with it in the spirit. Everything that they do is taught us how to deal in this thing to lead us towards salvation. They've been great examples of that. Those persons considered the wisest in the land, and they knew how to deal with that area of that land in Mesopotamia and the Fertile Crescent, better yet to say, because it was only natural for us to know how to deal with that type of land up there. By eating the vegetation. Now, I'm not telling any brother to go be a vegetarian or vegan. That's up to you. That's your lifestyle. But I'm saying the intake of meat versus vegetation is very beneficial if you do it in the right balance. Like they said here, it said 80% alkaline, which is vegetation, 20% meat, fish, cheese, and so on and so forth. Like it says here, sickness and health. The more you eat on the acidic side, you're gonna be sick. The more you eat on the alkaline side, the more health you're gonna be in. Does that mean go completely alkaline? Because your body can be over alkalized. That'll lead to sickness. But this is the balance right here, 80-20. Acidic to alkaline. Anyway, so let me go into a couple more scripts, because the Bible has it all, right? Yeah, it's hard to keep it held this way. Let me go to the book of what book was that? It's in the Apocrypha. Bear with me 1 second. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. Start at 17. Let's see where. Yeah. Let me see. Wisdom of Solomon. Dang, yeah. Let's start up here at 11. Dang, it just keeps going up. Yeah, right here. It must be 10. Yeah. Wow, it just keeps going. Anyway, so I'm going to start up here at verse 7. Wisdom of Solomon 7:7. It says, "Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called upon the Most High, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her before scepters and thrones, and esteemed riches in nothing in comparison to her, and to wisdom." It says, "Neither compared I unto her any precious stone, because all gold in respect of her is as a little sand, and silver shall be counted as clay for her. I loved her above health and beauty," and this wisdom will give you the nutrients you need, the information that you need to better your health and beauty. Whether it be with fragrance, whether it be with certain types of food to eat, where you keep a younger appearance and your body work, because this world is designed to destroy us, man. With the chemtrails and the fluoride in the water, and the GMO and fast food and microwaves and all this crazy processed food. All these things. Look, you think you're drinking water, and you're drinking acidic water that's not benefiting your body. It's actually making you even more sick. But how can I be dehydrated? I drink a lot of water. well, you're not drinking the right type of water. Same thing with this truth. You need that good alkaline water, the alkaline truth, so to speak. It says, verse 10, I loved her above health and beauty, and chose to have her instead of light. For the light that cometh from her never goeth out. This truth. This word is also the light. It says, which is the wisdom of the light. That will make a man's face to shine, right? It says, but that's the health and beauty reference too. It says, all good things together came to me with her, and innumerable riches in her hands. And I rejoiced in them all, because wisdom goeth before them. And I knew not that she was the mother of them. Yep. So I learned diligently and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches. Yeah, you got to pass this wisdom on. You got to put this light at the top of the mountain, man. The candlestick, you can't put it under the bed, man. Can't hide this truth in a napkin. Can't bury this truth because you only got one talent and a little bit of faith. You got to put this out there, And that's all the wisdom, whether it's having a health wisdom or spiritual wisdom. Wisdom of men of experience that pass down to young men of inexperience. This is all wisdom that goes with this thing. And what's the measuring stick of what's right and wrong? The entire word of the Bible. This whole book that we got gives us all of that, enough to get salvation out of it. Right? To build your faith up for salvation. It says, for verse 14, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, it says, for she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of the Most High, being commended for the gifts that come from learning. What is that? The wisdom. If you have wisdom on health, you be a healthy guy, you live a lot longer than the average man upon the earth. If you got exercising techniques, if you got certain prayers, whatever that is, you pass those things along. And men, health remedies, natural remedies, so I don't have to load up on all kinds of doctor's pills, things that only create another issue from this issue that led to this one because I took this medicine. Those two issues went away, but I got 3 other issues now that solve these issues. With the information super high, with there's no excuse, it's out there. Read 14 again. Says, for she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of the Most High, being commended for the gifts that come from learning. The Most High has granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me. For the wisdom that you're given, put that out there. If you got wisdom on certain breakdowns, put that out there. If you got it on experience, put that out there. Health issue, things, exercises, whatever, put that out there. Things that can fill a brother's space from what he was doing in the world to something that he would now do within the brotherhood. Instead of watching the game on TV, go to the gym or to the park and play a little ball. Don't just take away a brother's entertainment. Give him something that'll entertain him and, get back out there and start going for jogs. Do martial arts. Do whatever, something that's more beneficial to your body, edifying to your spirit and your body than just bread and circus, right? I guess that's the play on words, bread with the whole alkaline thing. Anyway, acidic thing. It says, verse 16 says, for in this hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. Verse 17, it begins to name those sciences that, let me go back. That was in, what chapter was that? That was chapter, I think that was, where's that at? Look at Daniel. Chapter 1. About 5 or 6 at that point. Let me see. Yeah, it says, verse 4 says, children in whom was no blemish, and well favored, and skillful in all wisdom. Talking about wisdom in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such had the ability to stand in the king's palace, known as the wisest in the land. You know, when you get down to the word Chaldeans now, back in Wisdom of Solomon, 7:17, it says, for he had given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of the times. That was in the book of Genesis, right? It says the alteration of the turning of the sun and the change of seasons. You know, it says the circuits of years and the position of stars. These are all sciences. It says the nature of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds, the reasonings of men, the diversity of plants and the virtues of roots. Here we are. The diversity of plants and the virtues of roots. Where do the plants and roots grow? In that fertile land. You know? If a land that's well fertilized, not just by the dung, but by water also. You know? But by water also. So your body is a reflection of that earth in that sense. That, you know, the percentage of your body being about water and the percentage of the earth about water. You know, they say with global warming, the ice caps are melting and water is evaporating off the earth, and you know, whatever with that. The earth is going to live through that. Scripture tell the earth abideth forever. But it is still in mourning. It's not running the proper way that it should. Just like our bodies aren't running the way that it should. You know, the earth is running acidic, just like our bodies are running acidic right now because the devil is ruling. You know, but when the righteous are in authority, the people mourn. The earth will mourn. The people rejoice, and the people will rejoice also when the Israelites are running the earth again in righteousness. You know, but that vegetation, the roots and the plants that grow around those rivers where the vegetation is at. You know, that's why that's always a major thing for the people to build near water sources. You know, bodies of water, whether it's a river or a sea. It says let me jump back down to it. Yeah, it said verse 20, the nature of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants and the virtues of roots. You know, the different plants and what vegetation, and if they're alkaline like lettuce, you know, regular iceberg lettuce, that's not the best leafy green for you. That doesn't count as getting in your greens for the day. But kale has a lot of different nutrients. Spinach has a lot of different nutrients. Cilantro has health benefits. You know, different herbs and things like that, they have different health benefits. You know, knowing what those are and what you can use, you know, will only benefit you spiritually and mentally. And that's why we were in the book of Daniel. Let me read a little more, then we'll go back to the book of Daniel. It says, and all such things are either secret or manifest. I know them. Yeah, that's wisdom. And let's brother should know that right there. Matter of fact, I'm still in the Bible. Just go straight back to Daniel, first chapter. And it says, we'll read 4 again. Daniel 1:4 says, the children in whom was no blemish, well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge and understanding science. We just went through the book of the knowledge and the science. It says, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, in whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans, of the wisest of the land. You know, who are the wisest? The Israelites are the wisest of the land when they're following the statute, laws, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You know, and that's the position that we in when we come out here and put these videos out. That's the standard that the apostles have set for us to be in Great Millstone. You know, you teach you give different recipes on certain green smoothies, and different, like the apostles always putting out stuff on organic foods and non-GMO foods, and what's this other, and manuka honey, and different herbs and stuff that the brothers can take that have certain benefits to it. That's part of this thing as well. And the closer we get down to this devil shutting this system down, to the system collapsing, so he can bring this chip in full fledged, is we got to know what to eat. Because that's gonna be a problem. So when we sparingly do eat, we're eating the right things. If there's only, you got a little bit of money to put food on the table, you might not want to spend it on McDonald's or Jack in the Box. You might want to put it into something that'll nourish your body further down. Get you some organic kale or something, or make a smoothie for the week versus a couple cheeseburgers throughout the week. With this whole terrible bleached flour white bread. It says, verse 5 said, and the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years. At the end thereof they might stand before the king. They're eating good, it says, according to the world standards. Meat and wine, that'd be the things that put the most weight on you. It said, now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names, for he gave, let me jump down. Yeah, verse 8. I'll read through it. It said, for he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar. It says, and Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael, Meshach, and to Azariah, Abednego. Those are Babylonian names, because that's where they lived, instead of the Hebrew names they had before. It says, but Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat. Not because the king's meat was unlawful, but because it didn't benefit his body to eat that abundance of the king's meat. He didn't want to defile himself that way. He wanted to keep himself running in better order. Now, like I said, this isn't a be vegetarian or a vegan video. No, we still eat lamb. We still eat lamb when the Passover come around. In certain feasts, you come to somebody's house, and then in that day you might not want to be picky, depending on what your spirit can handle and what foods come around. But anyway, it says, verse 8 said, but Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuch that he might not defile himself. I don't think I want to eat that. Basically, he says, now the Most High had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said, why? Because he had that wisdom anyway. Daniel had a lot of wisdom on him anyway. And that makes you at peace with your enemies. That gives you information. Think about it. If you constantly giving somebody information, good information, they're gonna be real good to you. They're gonna be cool for you. They're going to be like, you know what? I can't get rid of him because look at all he's bringing to the table. He's dropping knowledge and wisdom on me all the time. Things that's helping me out. If somebody was giving you cheat codes or the winning numbers of the lottery, you would keep that person around. It says, for I fear the Lord, the King, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse liking than the children which are of your sort? Then shall he make me endanger my head to the king. He said, man, y'all ain't going to be living good if y'all don't eat this meat and drink this wine. Y'all ain't going to be happy. Why should I? Because they didn't understand what it was. But Daniel's about to put this experiment on them to show them what it is. It says, verse 10, it said, then Daniel said to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. And let's see what this word pulse is. I'm going to where is it at? Chrome. You see to the blue letter right quick. That's Daniel 1, and I missed the verse. Anyway, let me see. Daniel 1. Give us pulse to eat and water to drink. Let's see what pulse we got. It's the Hebrew word Zarayath. Oh shit, Zarayath. Zarayah. Anyway, it says the Strong's H2235. Anyway, it says vegetables as sown, organic vegetables, man. But by the way, anything grown is organic. If anything that's grown is organic, so don't get caught up in the hype. But at least if you're eating in that direction, yeah, you want to eat the best that you can afford. If you can afford these organic vegetables, then great. But if all you could afford is the regular vegetables, hey, that's better than just going to Cheetos, man. It says something sown, as in the plural, a vegetable as food, pulse, vegetable herbs, vegetable food, such as is eaten in a half fast. I probably need to do one of them now. Opposed to flesh and more delicate food, as opposed to flesh and eating a lot of meat. That's in the lexicon, Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. Those are the wisest men, where Chaldees came back in, didn't it? Let's see a couple more scripts and then I'm gonna close out. So yeah, getting into this type of food, is a good thing, man. The pH equation in health. It says, as you see, sickness leads you to acidic. Then there's neutral around 7. Then after you get past neutral, it becomes more alkaline. There's even drops that you can put into water, alkaline drops, to test, and it'll be green, yellow. I haven't put it in anything, and it became red. A darker green, I believe, is neutral. But then it gets to the blue and purples, and then that's alkaline. That's the scale. It says, let's see anything in here. Let me read it. It says, according to many health researchers, total healing of chronic illness takes place only when and if the blood is restored to a normal, slightly alkaline pH. In case you missed it, let me say it again. Total healing of chronic illness takes place only when and if the blood is restored to a normal, slightly alkaline pH. Right? And that's including the mental clarity that they had. Let me go back to Daniel, because I believe that was the end of the experiment, what they were going into, was that they were, let's find it. Yep. Verse 13, then let our countenance, Daniel chapter 1 verse 13 says, then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of thy children that eat of the portion of the king's meat, and as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consented to them in this matter and proved them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat of the portion of the king's meat. Thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink, and gave them pulse. Yeah, it says, as for these 4 children, the Most High gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom, and Daniel had understanding in all vision and dreams. So they were more spiritually inclined. You'll be more spiritually inclined when you live a more alkaline lifestyle in your body, in your spirit, in your mind. All of those things come together the way the Most High wanted. These temples that were, let me hit that right now. We'll just get to it, and then I'll go back to Wisdom of Solomon. No, I'm done with Wisdom of Solomon. Let me go to straight to that. And Was that First Corinthians, I believe. No, it's not First. Is that Romans? No, yeah, First Corinthians 3. Let's start around 16. Yes, it says yeah, First Corinthians chapter 3 verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of the Most High, his body, because I said it's in you, the Spirit dwelleth in you, that you are, inside your body, the people. So it's not about only who controlled the land over there in Israel, you know. Or hold the title of Israel. It's within our body, because the Most High dwelleth within us. Hold on one second. Look at something right quick. Yeah. It says, back in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, it says, 17, it says, if any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy. With all these illnesses anyway. The lack of wisdom. You know, when you take away our statute, laws, and commandments, you take away the ability to have this wisdom and to understand on a more spiritual level. We wouldn't be eating triple cheeseburgers with no lettuce, a tomato, onion, and pickle on it. We wouldn't eat that in the ancient world. We wouldn't just eat straight up meat and bread on that level. You know, if we were following the statute, laws, and commandments. You know, because we'd be more wise anyway. And plus, that's what was fertile and we can grow on the earth. Anyway, it says, if any man defile the temple of the Most High, let him shall the Most High destroy. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. Yep. Which temple ye are. Let no man deceive him. If any means you seem it to be wise in this world, let him become a fool. Yeah, that's something else. But, you know, because they try to always give you the most delicacies are these defiled foods, man. These for like what's the word I'm looking for? These against the law foods, man. I'm drawing blank right now. Bear with me, but you know the unlawful foods. You know, they always make that the biggest steak. You know, then you gotta have shrimp and prawns and catfish and this and that. You know, nah, man, that's not what we're supposed to be having. That's not what our body is supposed to be about. So I'm gonna go to 1 Corinthians chapter 9, just like the apostle was saying it, you know, about the whole marijuana thing, man. That defiles your body, and it was a commandment made by the apostles that we shouldn't do that, man, because Jake would make excuses to be in that worldly way of just smoking weed all damn day, you know. He'd be all jacked up to do that, you know. Jake would just want, I need to keep doing it. I'm not fully healed. Jake been healed. We just want to keep smoking, you know. So you gotta. All things may be lawful, but not all things expedient. You know, you gotta do the thing that's right for your body. You know, smoking is just bad, man. Smoking puts spirits and demons on you, especially this synthetic, and this ain't the same herbs that we were ingesting back then, but most of them were general. But the herb of that herb, people want to talk about the herb of that one. They always they're doing all types of things. It's GMO. They're doing all types of things in laboratories with it. They got all these names and personalities that come with it, man. This stuff is crazy. You know. Anyway, so 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19, it says, "What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of the Most High, and ye are not of your own? For ye are bought with a price, therefore glory the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which are the Most High." So running it on the highest alkaline level that's balanced for you is the most important thing, you know, that you should be doing with your body, because then it's going to lead you to having a better diet, not having fat and love handles and that stench that comes with an alkaline pH body, but being, run the fluids run through your body, the nutrients are accepting, your appetite is balanced, you're getting all the things you need, not just because you're going for it for taste, but because it's what your body needs. It says, but we're bought with a price, man, so we got to do the best we can with this thing. And running a body like that, like it described in the book of Daniel, like it described throughout that, that the earth is a fertile crescent. Let me go to, but water does that. So I'm tying it into this whole water thing, The Most High created our land, built around the fertile crescent, the best fertile land. That fertile land brought forth the abundance of vegetables and plants and herbs for our bodies to run, to help our bodies run alkaline based, so we stay in wisdom and close to the Most High. Like I said, that does not say to completely do away with eating meat. That's not the message here. The message here is to have a more alkaline-based diet. Like this one looks pretty good around 80-20. So, I'm going to get one more scripture because just to tie this water all the way in. I'm going to go to St. John. Book of John, chapter 4. Let me start up with this lady. Let me see. Bear with me one sec. While I find it to the exact. Let me start up around 7, I think is a good place. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to start at 6. St. John chapter 4, verse 6. Now Jacob's well was there. Yahweh Shai, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the wall, and in about the 6th hour there cometh the woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahweh Shai saith unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away into the city to buy meat. Yeah, they needed other food to build. They didn't have any. So you want that water, and it says, then said the woman of Samaria unto him. Now this is a heathen woman. He's gonna toy with her, but the point is what he's telling her, how he correlates water with the word. But anyway, it says, how is it thou, being a Jew, asketh of me to drink, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. See, she knew that they weren't supposed to deal, but she still wanted to deal later when she found out what he had. It says, Yahweh Shai answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of the Most High, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. If the Spirit was dealing with you, and you were an Israelite, you might have known who I was, and you would have quickly fetched me water. And the gift that the Most High gives, you would have quickly fetched me water. All right? It says, Give me to drink, that thou wouldst have asked him, and he would have given thee living water. What's that? That living water is the word. And your body is more susceptible to getting that living water when it's running on a more alkaline-based level, when it's running at optimum. And we're only talking about doing the best you can. It's not beating yourself over the head. Instead of buying that extra pound of ground beef or chicken or whatever, maybe you want to buy a few more vegetables, some kale or some spinach or some spring mix salad or something, broccoli or whatever, But those leafy greens are really good for you, man. And yeah, it can be kind of tough to eat a lot of them. But smoothies, man, get yourself, invest in a blender and push them smoothies out, man. Do mostly vegetables and throw a fruit in at the end, a banana, and sweeten it up a little bit. You can throw a little honey in there. There's a lot of creative ways that you can do with these smoothies. And then if you start getting into what the nutritional benefits of these leafy greens and different herbs and vegetables and fruits are, then you can start putting them in mix by that. And getting what your body needs, and then reading your body for what it needs. Oh, I think I'm lacking iron. Let me throw some beets in there with some kale, and then I'm gonna throw an apple in there and a little bit of lemon for citrus to cut the vitamin taste of the, and then let me throw an apple on top of that with a banana to whatever, and so on and so forth. You know, you start coming up with, or some antioxidant berries. My skin is messing up or whatever. These things will help you in the spirit. It says, because that living water will be more susceptible to dwell through you. It says, and the woman said unto him, Sir, hast thou nothing to draw with? And the well is deep, from whence thou hast thou that living water. So the well is deep. She still think he's talking about H2O. He's talking about the spirit now. Giving her wisdom, but he can't give it to her because she even knew she wasn't. She spoke that she wasn't an Israelite, and he called her out. If you would have known, you probably would have been a Jew, and you would have known. Said for the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. She said, I'm a woman of Samaria. Not that it mattered where you live, if you're an Israelite or not, because we're scattered across the four corners of the earth. But the fact of her not being in the spirit to know who he was, Anyway, it says, verse 12, Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Yeah, the answer is yes to that, by the way. It says, Yahushua answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, the water of this well, the water that Jacob gave, right? It says, But whosoever drinketh the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that which I shall give him be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. That's the water he's talking about. That by following along the spiritual path of that whole thing, the alkaline-based diet with the water that comes from the vegetation that fed the trees, that brought forth the abundance of fruit, and the earth that brought forth the abundance of vegetables, to help run your body on an alkaline level. The wisdom of how to mix those chemically together, so to speak, or chemistry together, of those different fruits and vegetables to come out with a delicious smoothie that's giving your body the nutrients that it needs, So your bowels not all congested up and moving weird, You have more energy, you're more lively, your memory's better. These things happen when your body's running on a better level, which are things that we need to retain this word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, this living water. You orate a lot better when you're living, when your mind is clear, so to speak. When you don't have microwave on the brain. Anyway, it says, But the water which I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up unto everlasting life. That's talking about this word. It says, The woman said to him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Still thinking about the well, about the H2O. But anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much the lesson, man. Which there was a lot of points in this. The land that has the best vegetation is near the water. Vegetation helps your body run alkaline. Alkaline water also helps alkalize your body, which in turn will help decalcify your pineal gland, where the spirit of living water can come into you and nourish your spirit and water your spirit. And that's all part of this thing. It's not just only the spiritual. The apostles have given us great lessons through all levels of this thing. All those the wisdom of the Chaldees, the wisest men in the land. The apostles are those Chaldeans in this time, as far as being the wisest men in the land. They have all the answers. They can help you spiritually. They can help you through experience. Which they give us their knowledge and experience all day, to us younger men in this faith. So, the point of this being, these three levels of understanding can help you benefit your spiritual life towards salvation. So from the food that you eat, the more alkaline diet that you have, the more increase in your spirit. You know, how important the water is to the land, how important the water is to our bodies, how important this living water is to our spirits. You know? So with that, close out saying all praise and glories unto Yahweh Bashim Shai, double honor to the apostles and elders, that great millstone, who rule well. Lord willing, this was edifying unto you brothers, man, that caught this one. Until the next show, shalom to the brothers that do this work in sincerity and in truth, that are of the house of David, that will get salvation in the time coming. With that, I say shalom.